So you have the best gaming CPU in the market, the Ryzen 7 9850 X3D. However, somehow you're not quite satisfied with the performance of it and you want to get even more, be it thermally, making it run cooler, or in actual FPS, making your games run faster. Well, this is the right video for you. So welcome back at ImWateringPSUs, and here we are with the full undervolting and overclocking tutorial to make your Ryzen chip cooler and faster. Now, a few disclaimers before we start. First of all, this is going to work for every single motherboard in the market. The chipset doesn't matter. We are running today on a TUF B850 from ASUS, but you can run this on an X670, X870, X870E, B650 even, B850, it doesn't matter. And you can run this on every single brand, ASUS MSI Gigabyte, BioStar, Qingyue, doesn't matter. Any brand, this is gonna work exactly the same because the tab we're gonna be using is the same in every single motherboard. Now we're going to go into the BIOS of our motherboard, so let's meet you there. And the only thing I ask you guys, little agreement before we start, at the end of the video, if the video actually works for you, you will drop a like and subscribe if you see the actual performance and thermal improvement. Can we do that? With that said, let's get started. Here we are in the BIOS. Now, first thing you need to do is go into the advanced mode and press F7. Now, the name of stuff may be a little bit different, but if you double check and cross-reference with the other items in my CPU undervolting playlist, you're gonna be able to understand everything. I will also try to tell you the different naming. Now let's go ahead and go into the advanced mode. So in every motherboard, it's under the advanced mode, and what you need to look for is AMD overclocking. This tab over here, right there. AMD overclocking. Accept, and you will now all have the same settings. You can generally achieve the same thing from the AI Tweaker tab, but it's just better to do it from here because it's going to be the same for everyone. And you want to go into the Precision Boost Overdrive tab, put this on Advanced, make sure you put your PBO limits on motherboard, and then you want to go all the way down to the Curve Optimizer and make sure you put this on all cores, negative, and give it a 15. Now, this is only the first of 3 presets I'm going to show you, and this is just for undervolting. Now, 99% of CPUs can do -15, but if you're very unlucky, you want to put 10. The 9850 X3D is a little bit less lucky compared to the 9800 X3D, simply because it's pushed more out of the box. So if you're very lucky, you may be able to achieve 20, but more than 20 is rarely achievable, if not for one case, which we will see at the end of this video. But even in that case, we are basically cheating because the true offset is around 15, even there. So if you just want to undervolt your CPU and get a set and forget setting, this is it. You could literally close the video right now and have a proper undervolt. But if you want to stay, we can move forward with the rest. Second thing I want to show you quickly before we get into the advanced stuff is a little static undervolt. So for that, we don't need any of these, and we want to go actually into our AI Tweaker setting, basically where we change everything for our system. Now, this may be called overclocking, AI tuner, tuning, OC, depending on the brand of your motherboard, but it's going to be the same. You want to find your CPU core ratio right here, and you want to put it on manual. And now, if you're doing this just for efficiency, by doing this, you can actually get lower power consumption than by doing the PBO offset, while still retaining most of your performance. You're going to lose a little bit of performance, but you're going to get a massive decrease in temperature. And since this CPU is pretty power hungry, this is not a bad thing. So you want to put 51 over here on CPU core ratio, and then you want to go all the way down until you find something that's called actual VRM core voltage. Now, this is actually just a V-core, okay? It may be called just a V-core or a voltage or CPU voltage, something like that. You want to put it into manual mode, and then you simply want to input a certain value, which is going to be 1.1. And this is it. At this point, you could again press F10, save and exit, and be happy. Little bit of extra tweaking about this one before we delve into the very complicated stuff. So this is actually how you also do a static overclock. By doing this, you eliminate the curve. By not having a curve, you get generally less spikes in how your CPU works. There are many benefits. And you get a lower absolute value in terms of wattage. If you're very lucky, you may be stable at 51 with 1.05. Okay, but generally you need 1.1. So let's just stick with that. This is actually how you used to do overclocking back in the day. So you can still do it. As you can see, our regular frequency of this CPU is around 5.6 gigahertz out of the box. So if we want to preserve that, we could just input 5.6 here, 56, and we would have to find a matching CPU core voltage. What is that one? Well, it's around 1.3 volts. It's actually a little bit lower, but as you can see, it drops via the load line calibration. So you want to input 1.3 here, and you're going to be fine if you want to preserve stock performance while flatlining your voltage to avoid spikes. This is also going to lose you a little bit of boost in single core performance, however. But this is how you used to do overclocking. So by playing around with those a little bit and simply deciding on a certain frequency you would like, so start from here, decide the frequency you would like, and then going down here and simply increasing the voltage until it's stable, and as long as your cooler can actually handle this, you're going to be perfectly fine. Now, with this out of the way, we can now get into the complicated and interesting stuff. Let's say you're doing a dynamic undervolt, the first setting I showed you, okay? There are a few things you can do better. First one is make sure you have your XMP enabled. How do you do that? Well, it depends on your motherboard, but on my ASUS motherboard, you simply choose the DOCP2, because this loads the entire profile of your RAM. Now, in my RAM, as you can see, it's a very high-speed Kingston RAM. This is too high. This is not going to work. So you want to set this to something achievable if you have too high speed RAM. 6000 is the safe one. 6400 is the smart one, generally, to set. But generally, with a regular RAM, just enable the XMP, you're going to be fine. FCLK, this is decoupled from RAM speed, so you can generally put this a little bit higher for some free performance. You can put 2067, no problems. And then we can actually go ahead and unlock some power limiting. Now, if you unlock power limits, that's where you get your extra performance from. In general, you want to go into the advanced tab. You want to make sure you go in the PBO tab, advanced, make sure you have your curve set to a -15 like we did before, and then you want to unlock your power limits. Now, you can do this from here, from PBO limits. You put it on manual, and you can input whatever values you want. Now, many motherboards will offer the possibility to just automatically apply these, and they will offer some presets. What I recommend is, if you're after efficiency, don't mess around with power limits, just do the undervolting and put this on motherboard. The only reason you should put this on manual is if you're after the maximum possible performance and if you have a very good cooler. In that case, you want to fully unlock these ones. Just input whatever value you can. Just max it out. All right, max it out. It's going to be perfect, and this means it's fully unlocked. Now, once it's fully unlocked, we actually want to play with the scalar control. You want to put this on manual, and here's where things get tricky. You want to put this on 10x. Now, this is going to change your little curve, okay? But this is going to overvolt your CPU, effectively nullifying the undervolting we've done before. Bear with me. So you want to go again down here in Curve Optimizer, and you want to generally increase this. So if you're giving it to 10x, I find generally you can get around 10 more going here. So with the 10x, you can probably get 25 stable, no problem. And by doing this, you're going to get a different curve, which is going to be a little bit better for the all-core turbo boost. If this is not enough, and you want to do a proper overclocking of your chip, you then want to go enabled positive and give it plus 200 extra boost clock. Now, this may get your PC to crash. You need to test this out. This is not a safe setting. I mean, it's safe if it works in terms of CPU longevity, but it's not going to work on every CPU. You need to test this out. And if this crashes for you, you want to reduce this, okay? Because this is how much voltage we are taking out. So you want to try maybe with 20 if it's crashing. And if it's still crashing, you want to try maybe with 15, even though you have the 10x. If you get lower than 15, I recommend you simply disable your CPU boost clock override, because it's not worth it to have less of an undervolt just for a few extra boost megahertz, which are generally not going to be stable because you're not hitting them with a low enough voltage and you're not hitting them with a cool enough CPU. Now, this may be very tricky. You may have to watch this a few times, but if you understand it, this is actually how you tweak your PC to run the absolute fastest it can. And with that said, my tutorial is over. Again, I have a full playlist on things like these, as well as a full RAM tuning guide, which you should watch for AM5 to get even more performance there. And if the video was helpful, please remember your promise, drop a like and subscribe, and see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.